work with me. Sachin used to be the brand ambassador of Airtel in those years. So I connected with his agent. A lot of people said, boss, where is Sachin? He's not going to work with you. You're not even a known company. But I connected with his agent, and 6 months later, I found myself sitting in his home, in his living room. Obviously, for a 23-year-old person in 2004, it was like, meeting God. But then I pitched my idea to him, and Sachin liked the idea. He said, this is all good, but my endorsement fee is $1 million a year. And if you can give that, we can sign up. I had gone with a budget of $10,000 a year to pay him. He finally struck the deal at $30,000 a year. And Airtel then had to work with me because it was a brand ambassador. In fact, with the game and given it to Vodafone. So my small learning from there was, everyone should dare to dream. Many times you feel yourself, boss, this is not possible. A lot of people tell you this is not possible. But unless you really go out there and attempt it, you never know what is possible, right? So that was one learning. From Shami Kapoor, I learned, forget anything else. He was a very passionate advocate of internet. Shailesh knows that in those years. But the one thing I learned from it is the power of positive thinking. And I'll share one anecdote. It's a bit personal, but I'll still share it because it's something you can really learn from. When he was in his 70s, he had dialysis because his kidneys had failed. And he used to go to Breach Candy Hospital twice a week. And sometimes I used to be there because I used to bunk class in Sydenham College, go to his home, because he had like 5-6 Macintoshes in his home, which I used to love to use. So he used to tell, "Oh, I'm going to the hospital." So I used to walk out with him from his home. And I always thought he was in this great mood, And dialysis is painful, and you're in your 70s, going in a wheelchair. So one day I asked him, "Uncle, how come you're in such a good mood when you go to the hospital?" Right? And the answer I got was, "Boss, see, I'm 75 years old. The only place I can flirt with young girls is the hospital." And it really made me think that, boss, this is all about positive thinking, right? It's just that how he's thinking so positively and being so positive, which is making him overcome such a painful experience and phase of life. And I always carry that with me, that, you need to be very positive. The third anecdote I would say is my own grandfather. I think Dr. Shani knew him, Dr. B.K. Goel. He obviously was a very eminent cardiologist of Bombay, Dean of Bombay Hospital. But the two things I learned from him, one is extreme hard work, to the extent that one day before he died, he did 20 angioplasties himself in Bombay Hospital, right? So that was how committed and hardworking he was for his this. And second was humility. He was he was doctor to the President of India, to all the governors, to everybody. But he would treat, whether it's the President or the Pune of Bombay Hospital, right, in exactly the same way, same respect, same language, right? And that showed humility and something that we all need to carry, irrespective of where we reach in life. That's a very powerful superpower, I would say. So I think these three things, I'll just share a quote which I really like to end this. It goes like this: "Only as high as I reach can I grow. Only as far as I seek can I go. Only as deep as I look can I see. Only as much as I dream can I be." Thank you very much.
So, Hindu, thank you for hosting us here. It's such a pleasure and a privilege to be here. Every moment since I've entered here has been full of excitement. I feel the excitement, I feel the energy, I feel the connect with this wonderful institution. My dear colleagues from the Indo-American Chamber, dear friends who are here, faculty, and my very dear young students. The subject of this white paper is very serious, but the essence of it can be distilled into 3 ideas only. Hi, Nitish. Hi. Is the idea of disrupting learning in the way that this university will do. Actually, I wish we can find another word for an institution of this kind. and not cling to the old word of university. Because what this place is preparing you for is life itself. It's giving you skills which you will actually go out, and on the day that you step out of this institution, you will be picked up by industry, by professions, by service enterprises, and you will have a chance to actually fulfill everything that you have learned. That to me is true disruption. I wish that the outcome from every part of the education system in India can migrate towards this kind of concept of empowering youngsters with skills which they can use tomorrow morning. That, to my mind, is very important. And what has happened is that learning, like television, has switched completely to being a matter of choice, which each one of us wants to exercise based on what we are thinking, what we are dreaming, what we are wanting to do right now. It can no longer be a syllabus-driven, very prosaic, very structured, teacher speaking, student listening kind of modality. That modality is over and out. The OTT platform gave us a glimpse of how we can exercise choice. But what you will experience in the next 5 years is going to be dramatically beyond this in terms of choice making. As we get into metaverse-driven learning, as we get into complete interactive learning. You know, the new word which industry is beginning to pick up and which you should think about all the time is prosumer. Nobody wants to be a pure consumer today. I produce, you consume. No. We all want to partner each other. At some instance in the value chain, I want to be a producer. At other instances, I want to be a customer. And I want to feel that I'm able to transition between these roles seamlessly. That's what education, learning, and indeed everything that you wish to do will transform into. The world is getting transformed because we are in this together. Every one of us. It's collaborative. It's a changed new mindset. It's full of innovation. It's full of technology. I talked about metaverse, but there is tokenization, there is NFTs, there is complete digital, there is machine learning, there is AI. All of that will combine in your learning and education process to give you an experience that will make you feel that you are now empowered and you can challenge the world and you can improve the world. Because indeed, the time has come that every one of us must be in the service of our planet to deliver only two things. Deliver cleaner air and safer water for humanity and for every living being. Unless you hold that to be the purpose of your education and your learning, you will not truly understand the meaning of the three letters which have become so popular, ESG. To my mind, I hold ESG in terms of only these two matrices. Can I breathe cleaner air? And can I drink safer water wherever I go? So that's the way learning is getting fully disrupted. And you are at the cutting edge of that disruption. So enjoy it, embrace it, learn from it, and change the world. So that's the first way in which our world is changing. The second way is very, very interesting. You know, The Economist carried a full article recently on China, and they made a fantastic point, that on account of e-commerce, the availability of products has reached 1,000 kilometers away from where it is produced. Whereas in the physical retail world, your coverage was only 5 kilometers, because people would drive or walk or do whatever and access a physical space and buy whatever they could. So there was a limitation. What e-commerce did was it made product available at a distance of 1,000 kilometers, with everybody trying to do things in what they now call Zepto modality. Very fast. Just imagine you think of having a Coke and you have this Swiggy guy coming and delivering it to you in 15 minutes. That's become the dream of every consumer. But here's the disruption that is going to happen. The disruption is, so consumption has been disrupted by e-commerce. Now manufacturing is equally waiting to be disrupted. And manufacturing will be disrupted because we have geopolitics which are creating such large risks and so much uncertainty that you cannot simply bear to depend on a particular place for all the manufacturing to be done, or for different parts of manufacturing to be done. Like at one time, Dell used to make it an article of honor to say that our supply chain passes through 25 geographies and still we get the product out fastest. Today they can't say that anymore because many geographies are impacted because of geopolitics, because of pandemic, because of policy orientation and all of that. So manufacturing is getting disrupted in a way that at some point in the future, very soon, in your lifetime for sure, most manufacturing will be done within very short supply chains. So the world will learn to make and produce materials which are required to create whatever is needed to consume, very close to where it is being consumed. So just as we extended the distance line in terms of availability of product, we will now truncate the distance line in terms of manufacturing it to be consumed where it needs to be consumed. And this will have a massive impact on ESG, particularly on the E part, because the greatest carbon emission happens because your food sometimes needs to travel 1,000 kilometers. And most products need to be transported over long distances, all of which today causes a massive carbon emission. So that's the second big disruption that we will face and we will learn to work with, and the white paper will give you some indicators about it. And the third and most important disruption that is happening is that at some point in time, we will be partnering with technology. I don't want to call it machines. We will be partnering with technology to expand our own capability, our own intelligence. Actually, artificial intelligence is a wrong point. What it is extended intelligence. It is intelligence which is working synergistically, because what needs to be brought together, how does our brain work? We try to look at patterns, bring it together, and then make a new decision. All of that is being taken over by machines, which learn faster, which process things faster, which create and connect the dots faster, and are able to show you the patterns so that you can make the decisions. In Blue Star, for example, we have what is called digital twinning. So if you are working in a hazardous manufacturing location, there will be somebody from a remote location who will be able to guide every movement of the equipment that you are having with you in a way that you will remain safe. And what this intelligence is doing, you can see will get replicated and transformed and delivered over the entire set of value chains that you can think of. And so imagine how much more productivity will be released. You will have a metaverse in which you can do all simulations before you actually do anything. And so what you do finally, and this experimentation will happen very quickly. How did we get our vaccinations in the shortest possible time that the world has ever known? Our COVID vaccination was available to the world when it needed it. And it didn't happen by accident. It happened because of the application of machine learning and artificial intelligence. Because all the otherwise lengthy tests that vaccinations went through in the past would have taken a much more elongated time. We were delivered this vaccination when the world needed it most because we embraced intelligence. And to my mind, this is the third big disruption that is going to happen in our lives. And the faster we embrace it and actually bring it to bear on everything that we do and think about, the better it will be for us as highly skilled individuals who will be ready to be productive for a changing world. Because one thing I can guarantee you, the world will keep changing and will keep changing at a far more rapid pace than you can ever imagine. So my best wishes to all of you to embrace all these three: disruptive learning, disruptive manufacturing, and disruptive intelligence. Embrace all of them and see how you can make the world a far better place to live. Thank you very much.